Mark, I wanted to start off with something where an art-based story, shall we say, and we, as photographers, you know, when we take when we shoot images, we can do them for two or three different reasons. One, we could be doing them for a client, and we have to meet a client's brief.
Mhm.
And the other reason is that we could be doing something completely for ourselves and for our own sort of self gratification, and sort of saying that this is what I wanted to do. This is about my work.
Well, photography is a passion, isn't it? It's more than a job. And I think we've discussed this a few times.
Hmm.
I do take my camera to a lot of places other than work. So it's
Yeah, that's
something
right.
that
Yeah.
you wanting to
Um,
do.
yeah, and when I do work for a client, my main thing at the beginning of the shoot, beginning of the job, whether it's photography is or video, is to make sure that I know and understand exactly what the client wants from what I'm
Mm,
going to be producing. What
mm.
are the client's goals? Why does the client need the images that we're going to be shooting? What are they going to use them for? They're all questions that I ask, and sort of quite thoroughly, so that I know that I'm familiar with what they would like. And then from there, I will make sure in the shoot that I want to give them exactly what they're looking for. But within that, I want to also, I then have the room and the flexibility to throw in my own ideas, to throw in my own creativity as well. But the main thing for me is making sure that I meet the client's needs. I'm not one of those photographers that turns around and says, well, I'm sorry, the images aren't what you're looking for because this is what I do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I
That's.
think there's an element of having your own vision
Mm,
in there.
mm,
But no, if there's a brief, you got to stick to the brief without a doubt. And when it comes to the way you shoot, please understand I'm trying to avoid the word style because I don't like that.
mm.
But people will choose you because they like your work. So a wedding photographer, they'll have seen your work, they'll like what you do anyway. So there
Mm.
is a reason for people choosing you.
Yeah, and it does. I do find it frustrating when, it's come back to that word style, and or photographers have got a certain way of doing things, or they're into something. They might be landscape photographers. They might be into sort of close up photography. They enjoy doing a certain type of photography, and I've spoken to photographers before, and they'll say, "Oh, but this is what I do." But at the end of the day, to me, it always comes down to the client. Now, with there is not a photographer here, but we're talking about an artist who was recently asked to provide two pieces of artwork to the Kunsten Museum in Austria. And there was a theme for this art project that they wanted to display in their gallery. And the art project was intended as a statement on salaries in Denmark and Austria. Okay.
Okay.
And so that's what the theme was. And so the Danish artist was given two blank canvases for the project, and the project was titled "Take the Money and Run." Okay,
Right. Okay.
all
That
right.
sounds interesting.
So if I said to you or anyone out there, and I'd like you to all think about this, if I said to you, right, I'd like you to go and do some photography, a couple of pictures, I want you to present them to me, and the theme that we're going to give you is "Take the Money and Run."
Yeah.
Okay. What sort of images would you be doing? And Mark,
Well,
yeah, and I
it'll
want
be
others to think about this. Those of you that are listening, I'd like you to think
yeah.
about this.
It's a
Take
it's
the
a
money and run. What would your images be?
I mean, it depends how abstract you want to go. I mean, you could literally have someone running away with a wad of cash in their hands. That's a bit obvious, though, isn't it? I mean, you could maybe, I don't know, you could make some political statement and just have a picture of an Amazon van, about taxes or whatever. And
Mm,
I don't want to get into trouble with all of this. It
mm,
is a well-known sort of theory or thing that Amazon and Apple and all that, they don't pay their taxes properly in this country. I don't know if that's true or not, but that is a theory that people have. So you could take a picture of something like that. I don't know. I mean, you could have a picture of maybe a celebrity you think is a bit dodge. Yeah, there's different ways. I mean, I'm just, I didn't know you were going to ask me this question, so I'm just thinking off the
yeah,
top of my head. I mean, generally, if I was going to put an art exhibition, I would do several months of research and develop ideas and all that kind of stuff, because that's how you develop it, isn't it? But
mm,
But yeah, so I'm guessing because you asked this question, that's none of those things is what this artist has done. I'm guessing.
Well, no, because he's actually been ordered to. So he was paid for this to provide 2 pieces of art, and he was paid £58,000.
All right, okay.
Okay, so a nice sum of money to present
Nice
2 pieces of
yeah.
art. Okay, so
Yeah.
he's obviously a well-known artist here, and the artist we're talking about is Jens Hanning. And it says the Kunstmuseum in Aalborg had intended for Jens Hanning to it says to embed the banknotes in 2 pieces of art in 2021. It says, so let me read from the actual from the article, and this is from BBC. It says a Danish artist has been ordered to return nearly 500,000 kroner, that's £58,000 or $72,000, to a museum after giving it 2 blank canvases for a project he named "Take the Money and Run."
Well, I mean, I think he's in his rights to do that, to be honest. Because
okay, so he gave it 2. So he gave them blank canvases, and he said that the work is that I have taken their money
and run.
Yeah, and the court has now ordered him to return the cash.
Oh, really?
But keep some for expenses. The art project was intended as a statement on salaries in Denmark and Austria. The museum asked for the artist to return all the money, but Mr. Hanning has refused. Now, after a long legal battle, a Copenhagen court in Denmark on Monday ordered Mr. Hanning, 58 years old, to refund the museum 492,000 kroner. That figure, it said, was equivalent to the sum the museum had given him minus the artist's fee and the cost of mounting. Museum director Lasse Andersen said that he had laughed out loud when he first saw the 2 blank canvases in 2021 and decided to show the works anyway. Now, that's interesting because he said they decided to show the works anyway because there's a picture of the canvas up on the wall. It's a big old canvas, so huge, it's a huge thing. It's an image on BBC from Getty Images. So it says he stirred up my curatorial staff, and he also stirred me up a bit, but I also had a laugh because it was really humoristic, the museum's director, Lasse Andersen, said.
And I think it's a good answer to the brief as well. I think that's because I can't imagine, right? Sorry, I know there's a bit more to say, but just to put my 2 pennies worth in, I just mentioned about 2 minutes ago about how I would do a lot of research and I would really develop an idea. He may have had hundreds of ideas before he came up with this one.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Yeah, it says take the money and run. It says after the judgment, Mr. Hanning said that he did not plan taking the case any further. It has been good for my work, he said, but it also puts me in an unmanageable situation where I don't really know what to do. He told TV2 Nord on Monday the museum had made much, much more money than what it had invested thanks to the publicity surrounding the affair.
So basically, the museum have made money out of it anyway.
Yes, they have. That's right. Yeah.
I think this is a crock. I think he shouldn't be giving back the money. I think he should be keeping it personally. But
you think he should be keeping it?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I guess that the spin that a lot of people are taking from it. Oh, right, okay. So he got this take the money and run. He just thought, I know what I'll do. I'll just buy some canvases and stuck them up on the wall. I don't think that's the case. I think he probably did think of other ideas, other ways of displaying take the money and run, and he came up with this one. I think it's a genius idea because it's immersive art. It is exactly what it is. He's taken the money and run, and the museum have made them. They still put the work up. Do you know what I mean? What was the conversation when they received the work? Did they just go? Did they go, oh, these are blank canvases? Oh, well, we can't put these up. We'll have to put something. What did they do? They put it up anyway and made loads of money out of it. Had they not put it up, that would have been different. There's a picture of it's a classic picture of a canvas hanging in a gallery with the back of somebody looking at this, and it's a lady, and all she's standing right in the middle of the canvas, and she's just got her head up, and she's just looking at a white blank canvas. That's all she's looking at. And, it goes back to the stuff that you see, when people will just put a pile of rubbish together and say, that's art. Tracy Emin's bed is something that swings to mind.
So there is a message in everything, in everything that we see, and it's how we do. But yeah, the more you think about it, the more you think that how many people, and be honest, would have thought I'm not going to do anything. I'm just not going to submit anything. I'm going to send a blank digital file. That's
Yeah.
it. Take the money and run. That's what I've done. You've given me some money, and I've given you nothing pretty much. Or I have given you
Yeah.
something, but what I have done is I've given you my thought process in
Yeah.
return.
But that's what art is, though, isn't it? The piece that you see in the wall is a product of thought process. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not about painting pretty pictures or anything like that, or making a beautiful sculpture. That's not what it's all about. That's not what art's about. Art is about the going through a process, the thought process of someone. That's why an artist is an artist, because not everyone would have thought about that. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's what makes artists different to other people. It always annoys me when I'm in an art gallery or something, and like some of the some of the more more simple looking thing. Barnett Newman is a good example. A really brief, crass description of his work is just a load of painted lines, really.
Right.
But really, he's looking at for me, he's looking at negative and positive spaces and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I there's more to it than what, and you have to sort of really think about it. Art that you have to think about, but a lot of people might look at it and go, yeah, that's that's not good. That's not art. What's going on there? It's I don't know. It's just that's what art's about. It's someone a different way of thinking.
Mm.
So yeah, I think I think it's a great idea. I don't think he should have. I don't think he should have had to have given the money back. I think, and
Yeah.
especially when the museum, the gallery has made money from it. I think this is an
Mm.
absolute racket.
So whenever anyone says to me, "Oh, I'm entering a competition," or "Have you got any ideas? I don't know what to do," and I do this with a lot of students as well, is saying that always remember that very often the simplest ideas are the ones that work the best. Don't try and overcomplicate things. Try and always do something that that first of all you can execute and you can do it. And you might do something that I'm not happy with it, so you go and redo it because you want to improve it. Don't set yourself a task if you're doing a series of photos or a project or something, or a photo of doing something that you just know you're never going to achieve. Do something that maybe pushes you. But I think what this has pushed is the thinking. Now, the more you think about it, it is a genius idea of basically presenting a blank canvas, literally a blank canvas. So, and as I said, he didn't just think of that. He may have done. It may have been the first thought that came to mind.
He would have explored other ideas, I'm sure.
He would have explored other
That's
ideas.
what artists do.
And he may well need to have presented those ideas to a court, or they may well have said, "Look, we want to see what your thought process was. We want to see what your ideas were." So he may have had drawings, sketches, all sorts of things sketched out and ideas. And if he did, then this carries even more weight. Because sometimes you just sit there and you think and actually, but how many people also would have had the balls to actually do it? That's the other thing, Mark. If I turn around and said to you, "Oh, Mark, I've got this great idea. We're not going to do anything. We're just going to give them a blank canvas." I can guarantee that most people would have said, "No, you can't do that. Don't be so daft." No, but it's true. Take the money and run. This is what we're doing. And I think a lot of people would have said, no, we're not going to do that. Well, even if they may well have just even drawn one line or even just signed it at the bottom and said, "That's it."
They should have. I guess if he'd put like, I don't know, I don't know. Did you say it was Krona?
Yes,
currency?
Danish.
So I don't know if you got a coin which was the equivalent of a penny and just popped it right in the middle of the canvas, then he probably would have gotten away with it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's nonsense. I think this is. Well, plus, the law. What does the law know about art, really? It's too. I don't know. I'm surprised that he was forced to give the money back, because for me, he's answered the brief.
It has. So I suppose the thing is that if you are given this a theme of something to do with photography, you're going to do your little brainstorm ideas and and come up with all the things that you think might work for you and everything. But it's just worth and also research, I think, is key here as well. Look what other people do. It's just a bit of advice here. If you're doing something, look at other, not just photographers, look at other artists. look at other mediums as well, to see what other people are producing, because it can give you good ideas. Which actually, in many ways, it leads, because the power of the image is a still image is huge, power of video is huge, which actually leads quite well into the next story, because we're going to come onto this in a moment. Aren't we? In fact, let's do that.
Well, let's go grab a drink first, shall we?
Let's do that, because we're going to talk about the power of the medium here.